Veil of the Bible. Welcome to Veil of the Bible, where ancient stories come alive with power and purpose. I'm your narrator, bringing you the most captivating biblical narratives ever told. If this is your first time here, subscribe now and join thousands who discover God's truth through these incredible stories. Today, we journey into one of the most mysterious encounters in Scripture. Hit that notification bell, leave a comment about what biblical story moves you most, and share this video with someone who needs to hear God's voice today. Our story takes us to a moment when heaven itself thundered and the Creator revealed creatures so magnificent that they defy human understanding. This is Job's ultimate encounter with divine power. Picture this. A man stripped of everything, sitting in ashes, questioning why the righteous suffer while evil seems to prosper. Job had lost his children, his wealth, his health. His friends accused him, his wife told him to curse God and die. But Job held on, demanding answers from the Almighty. Little did he know God was preparing to respond. For chapters, Job cried out to heaven. Where was God? Why was he silent? The questions burned in Job's heart like fire. He longed for a mediator, someone to stand between him and the Creator. He declared he would argue his case before God himself, if given the chance. Be careful what you ask for, Job. The Creator is about to answer. Then it happened. The sky darkened, winds began to howl, and from within a supernatural storm, the voice of the Almighty broke through. But God's response wasn't what Job expected. Instead of explaining suffering, God revealed his power through two creatures that would forever change Job's perspective. Meet Behemoth and Leviathan. Then the Lord answered Job out of the storm. Can you imagine that moment? The Creator of the universe, who had been silent through Job's agony, suddenly speaks with the voice of thunder. The ground trembles, the air crackles with divine energy. Job's heart pounds as he realizes he's about to come face to face with ultimate power. Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? God's first words cut through Job like lightning. Here was the man who thought he could question the Almighty's ways, demand explanations for divine decisions. But when God speaks from the storm, human wisdom crumbles like sand. The interrogation is about to begin. Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. The tables have turned. Job wanted answers, but now God is asking the questions. Can you feel the cosmic shift? The creature is about to be reminded of his place before the Creator. Job's confidence begins to waver as divine power surrounds him. God begins with creation itself. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Who stretched a measuring line across it? Each question hammers home humanity's limitations. Job thought he could understand divine ways, but he can't even comprehend how the world was made. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place? The interrogation continues. God speaks of controlling the seas, commanding the stars, directing the weather patterns. Every word reveals the infinite gap between Creator and creation. Job's questions about suffering seem suddenly small and insignificant. But God isn't finished. He's building towards something magnificent. The questions about creation are just the foundation for what comes next. God is about to reveal creatures so powerful, so awesome, that they will completely transform Job's understanding of divine sovereignty. The storm intensifies as God prepares his ultimate demonstration. Do you have an arm like God's, and can your voice thunder like his? The Creator challenges Job's very essence. Can he create? Can he control? Can he command the forces of nature? The implied answer thunders through the storm. Absolutely not. But if Job cannot do these things, how can he question the one who does them effortlessly? The wind howls louder, the lightning flashes brighter. God's voice grows more intense as he prepares to reveal his masterpieces of creation, two creatures that demonstrate his power in ways that will leave Job speechless. The storm itself seems to hold its breath as the revelation approaches. Something unprecedented is coming. Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you and which feeds on grass like an ox. The first creature is revealed. Behemoth, a name that means beast of beasts. God made this creature alongside humanity, yet it possesses power that dwarfs human strength. This is just the beginning of Job's education in divine sovereignty. Can you imagine Job's eyes widening as this revelation unfolds? Here is a creature that God himself calls attention to, something that demonstrates his creative power in ways Job never imagined. The grass-eating giant is about to be described in detail, and every word will humble human pride even further. The storm continues to rage as God's voice describes this first mighty creature. Lightning illuminates the darkness, and in that supernatural light, the reality of Behemoth begins to emerge. This isn't just any animal. This is a demonstration of power that will forever change how Job views the Creator's might and authority. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. God begins describing Behemoth's physical might. This creature possesses strength beyond human comprehension. Every muscle, every sinew speaks of divine craftsmanship taken to extremes. Job realizes he's hearing about something far beyond ordinary creation. Its tail sways like a cedar. The sinews of its thighs are close-knit. Even Behemoth's tail is compared to the mightiest tree. Cedar trees were symbols of strength and permanence, yet this creature's tail moves like one. The description builds an image of power that defies imagination. What kind of being is this? Its bones are tubes of bronze, its limbs like rods of iron. The metaphors intensify. Bronze and iron, the strongest metals known to Job's world, are used to describe this creature's very bones and limbs. This isn't poetic exaggeration. This is God revealing the true strength he can build into his creation when he chooses to do so. It ranks first among the works of God, yet its maker can approach it with his sword. Here's the key. Behemoth is the premier demonstration of divine creative power, yet its creator remains supreme over it. The creature that no human can challenge bows completely before its maker. What a lesson about God's ultimate authority. The storm rages on as God continues describing his mighty creation. Under the lotus plants it lies, hidden among the reeds in the marsh. Even in rest, Behemoth chooses places where other creatures fear to go. The marshlands and reed beds become its throne room, places where its massive form can find shelter and peace. The lotus plants conceal it in their shadow. The poplars by the stream surround it. Picture this scene, a creature so massive that entire groves of trees provide its hiding place. What seems like impenetrable wilderness to humans becomes a gentle resting place for this divine masterpiece. Nature itself accommodates God's premier creation. A raging river does not alarm it. It is secure, though the Jordan should surge against its mouth. The Jordan River, which could sweep away armies, is nothing more than a gentle stream to Behemoth. While humans build cities away from floods, this creature drinks calmly even when rivers rage. What confidence God has built into this being. Can anyone capture it by the eyes or trap it and pierce its nose? God challenges human capability directly. The strongest hunters, the most clever trappers, the bravest warriors, none can capture Behemoth. Human technology, human wisdom, human courage, all fall short before this creature that God made. The lesson is clear. Some things remain beyond human control. Think about this for a moment. Job had questioned why God allowed certain things to happen, why the righteous suffer while the wicked prosper. But here's a creature that demonstrates divine power operating completely outside human influence. Perhaps God's ways are similarly beyond human control or understanding. The thunder rolls as God's voice continues through the storm. Every word about Behemoth hammers home the same truth. There are aspects of creation that dwarf human power and understanding. This isn't meant to discourage Job, but to put his suffering in perspective. God operates on scales humanity cannot fully grasp. It eats grass like an ox. Despite its incredible power, Behemoth is peaceful. This mighty creature, which no human can capture or control, feeds on simple grass. There's no malice, no aggression, no desire to dominate. Its power controlled by divine design, strength tempered by divine wisdom. What a picture of perfect creation. Can you see the lesson forming? God has created something more powerful than any human force, yet it lives in perfect harmony with His design. It doesn't rage against its creator, doesn't question why it was made so powerful, doesn't demand explanations for its existence. It simply fulfills its divine purpose with complete contentment. The wind howls louder as God's revelation continues. Job is learning that creation contains mysteries far beyond his comprehension. If he cannot understand or control Behemoth, how can he expect to understand or question the ways of Behemoth's creator? The creature becomes a mirror reflecting divine majesty. See the strength of its loins and the power of its muscles. God draws attention to every aspect of Behemoth's might. This isn't casual description, this is divine pride in divine craftsmanship. The Creator is showing Job what he can accomplish when he chooses to demonstrate raw power through his creation. The storm reaches new intensity as God prepares to reveal his second creature. Behemoth has shown divine power on land, but there's another realm where God's creative might reaches even greater heights. The waters are about to reveal something that will make Behemoth look tame by comparison. Its maker can approach it with his sword. These words echo through the thunder, the creature that no human can challenge, that drinks from raging rivers without fear, that rests among trees like a gentle giant. Even this mighty being acknowledges its creator's supremacy. Only God can approach his own masterpiece as master. Job's worldview is crumbling and reforming with each divine word. He thought he understood power, thought he could question divine decisions, thought his suffering gave him the right to demand explanations. But Behemoth proves that God operates with strength Job never imagined possible. The grass-eating giant stands as testimony to divine creativity, power without malice, strength without aggression, might without rebellion. This creature lives in perfect submission to its creator's design, finding contentment in its God-given role. What a contrast to human nature, always questioning, always demanding more. As the description of Behemoth concludes, the storm seems to pause. Lightning still flashes, thunder still rolls, but there's a moment of anticipation. God has revealed one masterpiece, but he's not finished. The waters are about to yield something even more terrifying, even more magnificent. Leviathan awaits. What do you think about God's revelation of Behemoth so far? Does this change how you view divine power? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The storm intensifies as God's voice thunders again. Can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook or tie down its tongue with a rope? The second creature emerges from divine revelation. While Behemoth ruled the land, Leviathan dominates the waters. This is power taken to an entirely new level of terrifying majesty. Can you put a cord through its nose or pierce its jaw with a hook? God's questions about Leviathan drip with divine irony. Humans fish for ordinary creatures, but this being mocks every human fishing technique ever invented. The hooks break, the ropes snap. The strongest nets become useless threads before this aquatic giant. Will it keep begging you for mercy? Will it speak to you with gentle words? The sarcasm is unmistakable. Leviathan doesn't plead or negotiate. This creature operates from a position of absolute strength, showing no fear of human technology or human threats. It answers to one master only, its creator. Will it make an agreement with you for you to take it as your slave forever? The very idea is laughable. Humans make slaves of oxen, horses, and dogs, but Leviathan cannot be domesticated, cannot be bargained with, cannot be reduced to human servitude. It remains wild, free, and utterly beyond human control. Can you make a pet of it like a bird, or put it on a leash for the young women? God's humor cuts deep into human pride. Children play with birds, young women walk small animals on leashes, but Leviathan defies every attempt at domestication. This creature exists in a realm of power that humans can barely comprehend, let alone control. Will traders barter for it? Will they divide it up among the merchants? Even in death, Leviathan commands respect. Merchants who trade in every conceivable good cannot reduce this creature to mere commodity. Its very nature transcends commercial value. This is divine artistry that cannot be bought, sold, or possessed. Can you fill its hide with harpoons or its head with fishing spears? The weapons that bring down whales and sea monsters become toys against Leviathan. Human military might, designed to conquer the unconquerable, fails completely before this divine creation. Every attempt to wound it only reveals human weakness. If you lay a hand on it, you will remember the struggle and never do it again. God warns that even touching Leviathan brings consequences no human can forget. This isn't mere physical danger. This is an encounter with power so overwhelming that it permanently changes anyone brave enough to approach. Any hope of subduing it is false. The mere sight of it is overpowering. Just seeing Leviathan crushes human confidence. Brave warriors who face armies without fear become terrified children before this creature. Its very presence demonstrates the vast gap between human strength and divine creative power. No one is fierce enough to rouse it. Who then is able to stand against me? Here's the crescendo. If no human can challenge Leviathan, who can challenge Leviathan's creator? God uses his creature to demonstrate his own invincible majesty. The logic is unassailable and utterly humbling. The storm rages as God continues, "Who has a claim against me that I must pay? Everything under heaven belongs to me." The Creator owns everything, including these mighty creatures. Job's accusations crumble before this truth. How can creation question the Creator's right to govern his own possessions? I will not fail to speak of Leviathan's limbs, its strength, and its graceful form. God takes pride in describing his masterpiece. Every detail of Leviathan's construction demonstrates divine craftsmanship. This isn't just brute force. This is artistic power, creative strength expressing itself through living magnificence. Who can strip off its outer coat? Who can penetrate its double coat of armor? Leviathan wears natural armor that makes human military protection look like paper. Divine engineering has created defensive capabilities beyond human imagination. This creature is built for invincibility by the ultimate engineer. Who dares open the doors of its mouth, ringed about with fearsome teeth? Even Leviathan's mouth becomes a fortress. Its teeth form battlements, its jaws become gates that no enemy can force open. Every aspect of this creature's design speaks of overwhelming power held in perfect divine control. Its back has rows of shields tightly sealed together. Each is so close to the next that no air can pass between. God describes armor more perfect than any human blacksmith could forge. Leviathan's natural protection demonstrates engineering principles that human technology cannot match. This is divine craftsmanship at its peak. Thank you so much for staying with us through this incredible journey. Your engagement means everything, and I promise you, the best revelation is still coming. God's description of these mighty creatures is building towards something that will transform how you see his power forever. They are joined fast to one another. They cling together and cannot be parted. Every shield on Leviathan's back forms part of an impenetrable whole. God's design leaves no weakness, no gap for enemies to exploit. This creature embodies perfect divine protection, complete, seamless, absolutely reliable defense. Its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn. Leviathan's very breathing creates supernatural illumination. Light pours from its nostrils. Its eyes blaze like sunrise. This creature doesn't just possess physical power, it radiates divine energy, reflecting the glory of its creator through every breath. From its mouth go burning lamps. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke pours from its nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. Fire becomes Leviathan's natural element. This isn't ordinary sea creature. This is divine power expressing itself through controlled flame, supernatural heat that no water can extinguish. Its breath sets coals ablaze and flames dart from its mouth. The very air around Leviathan ignites. Human fire requires fuel and oxygen, but this creature creates flame through divine design. Its breath becomes a furnace. Its presence turns the surrounding water into a cauldron of supernatural energy. Strength resides in its neck. Dismay goes before it. Terror precedes Leviathan's approach. Even before this creature appears, fear grips every living thing. Its reputation alone clears the waters. Its very existence creates an atmosphere of awesome dread. This is power that announces itself through divine presence. The folds of its flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable. Every part of Leviathan's body demonstrates perfect divine construction. No weak points, no vulnerable areas, no flaws in the design. God has created absolute physical perfection, a creature that embodies his power through flawless biological engineering. Its chest is hard as rock, hard as a lower millstone. Leviathan's heart region possesses the hardness of stone used to grind grain. The grinding stone that crushes wheat becomes the metaphor for this creature's internal strength. Even its vital organs demonstrate invincibility beyond human comprehension. When it rises up, the mighty are terrified. They retreat before its thrashing. The bravest warriors flee when Leviathan appears. Military leaders who face armies without fear become cowards before this divine creation. Human courage melts away in the presence of authentic divine power made manifest through living flesh. Nothing on earth is its equal. A creature without fear, it looks down on all that are haughty. It is king over all that are proud. Leviathan reigns supreme over everything on earth. This creature fears nothing because nothing can challenge it. Pride withers before its majesty. Human arrogance crumbles before its reality. Then Job answered the Lord, "I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. You asked, 'Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge?' Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know." Job's transformation is complete. The man who demanded answers now confesses his ignorance. Behemoth and Leviathan have taught him that God's ways transcend human understanding. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is knowing when we don't know, and trusting that our Creator's power extends far beyond our comprehension. The storm has passed, but the lesson remains eternal. What's your biggest takeaway from this incredible encounter? How do Behemoth and Leviathan change your perspective on God's power? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for more powerful biblical narratives. Coming up next, we have another incredible biblical encounter that will leave you amazed at God's faithfulness. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until next time, remember, the God who created Behemoth and Leviathan is the same God who watches over you today.